you doing? This is Black Shy Guy. Welcome to a brand new video, and as always, make sure you hit the like button after the video. Also hit the notification button to get notified on any upcoming new videos, and as always, thank you for sitting at my table. And the drama continues. We're gonna dive into Caitlyn Clark. There's been a lot of things going on since my last video about Caitlyn Clark. Obviously, they finally got their first win. And it was a very, very engaging one. Caitlyn Clark with the promising couple of points in the last couple of minutes of the game, which obviously ignited the win for the Fevers. And as always, Caitlyn Clark never really disappoints. She has games that she struggled on, but she really never disappoints when you go actually buy a ticket and go see her. She's been sensational despite the 4 losses, and finally a win for the Indiana Fevers. It's been great and a long time coming, but the drama continues when it comes to Caitlyn Clark, and as usual, it comes with the tweets, it comes with fans engagement, it comes with social media engagement, but that is expected when you're a global phenom like Caitlyn Clark. And yes, I said phenom for the simple fact that she has changed the stratosphere and direction of the WNBA, which accounts to her being a phenom. I mean, only a phenom can basically change the trajectory of a league. And that's what Caitlyn Clark has done. Charter flights, check. Bigger checks incoming, check. And obviously, all of this can come into a very, very big nosedive if the people in the WNBA don't accept the fact that the people in this year's draft has changed the freaking future of the WNBA. It has changed. They changed it. The first 3 picks of the WNBA's draft has changed the trajectory. It's just tremendous what the first 3 picks of the draft in the WNBA has done for the WNBA. It is crazy. Reese, Caitlyn Clark, and Cam. They have changed what freaking the WNBA was and now is becoming. But we're going to dive into something that LeBron James have stated and have basically backed up. And I do agree with what he said. What he said was very, very important for everyone to listen to. And I know a lot of people don't like LeBron James. LeBron James, as you know, if you've been following my channel, he is my favorite basketball player in the NBA, despite a lot of his political takes that I don't agree with. But I'm a grown man. A lot of things I'm not going to agree with, whether I like you or not. I'm not going to agree with all your takes. That doesn't exclude the fact that, to me, he's my favorite, most entertaining basketball player in the NBA. It's the reason I got all his jerseys. You know what I mean? But we're going to dive into what LeBron James had to say about Caitlyn Clark.
You know, we want to talk about sort of all things basketball. And Caitlyn Clark, phenomenal run. Yep. I saw her the other night, by the way. I saw her the other night in Indy after her, I think it was her second game or third game. Mm-hmm. But it was the first game against Liberty. They played Liberty Thursday, and they were back here in New York on Saturday. I saw her after the Thursday game. Very briefly. And, you know, she was just talking about the quick turnaround, which I find to be insane, that they go through this season that starts basically in September. They have all their preseason practices, the games. She does the tournament, gets the national championship game. And then, like, within a month, she's playing in real WNBA games. There's no real off season for her. But
that's the thing people don't realize. The quick turnaround that Caitlyn Clark had to do, the fact that she was in college and all of a sudden she's in the WNBA, no break in between whatsoever. No break in between when it comes to her career. The media hype, the interviews, the podcast appearances, the freaking magazine covers, everything into one freaking couple of months. I would say not couple of months, but I would say about 6 months. Can I say that? About 6 to 7 months. no break. And I know people's gonna say that's not a freaking long time. A lot of us work 9 to 5 jobs and we don't get no break. I'm saying you don't have to do freaking interviews. You don't have to do podcast covers. You don't have to shoot you don't have to do photo shoots. Caitlyn Clark has been dealing with a lot when it comes to the freaking short span activities she has to deal with when she went from the college atmosphere to the WNBA atmosphere. And on top of that, after getting into the WNBA, the impact and the weight she has to deal with when it comes to the publicity, the social media activities, the tweets, the engagement, the negativity. It's just a lot for an individual to deal with. And we don't really understand. Despite us tweeting about her, we really can't understand and we'll never understand what she's going through other than someone like LeBron James and R.I.P. to Kobe Bryant and the Michael Jordans. Those are the people that can very well understand what Caitlyn Clark is going through when it comes to the pressure she's going through.
But the thing I wanted to bring up was just I don't want to call it hatred, but it's there's definitely like a dislike or vitriol coming her way towards older players. And look, I think we all...
And LeBron James gets it. You see his face. You see his posture. It changed immediately when he said, it feels like there's a hate. There definitely is a hate. Like I said before, a lot of people love seeing the Giants fall. Caitlyn Clark is a giant among the WNBA, and a lot of people, despite the fact, the fans, the engagements that she has, the love that she's being shown, there's a lot of people that want to see her fall. A lot of people that are basically stating, why are they crowning this woman queen when she hasn't achieved anything yet? Listen, give her time. She very well may achieve something. And even if she doesn't, she still gets a lot of love and a lot of respect for the fact that she has changed the atmosphere of the WNBA. She is a very impactful player. That's what people don't understand. She is impactful. She touches a lot of fans. Caitlyn has that it factor that a lot of the other WNBA players do not have. I would say Reese has it. I would say Cameron Brick has it, because Cameron Brick, if you don't know who Cameron Brick is, she is a very exciting player to watch. I gotta say that. Cameron Brick, if you have not been watching her play, you guys are delusional. She is very entertaining to watch, very impactful player, inside and outside of the court. She is basically an all-around player, point blank and simple. Cameron Brick is a sensation to watch. As well as Angel Reese. Angel Reese is not an all-around player like Cameron Brick and Caitlyn Clark, but Angel Reese is a very dominant player, and she can basically impact the game when she's on the court. But let's go back to basically the posture LeBron James has decided to take when he heard about the hate Caitlyn Clark is receiving. Because we all know LeBron James has been going through a lot of hate when it comes to the comparison with him and Michael Jordan. And yes, I have to say a lot of it was caused by him basically comparing himself to Michael Jordan himself. So it's neither here nor there, though. The fact that he is been getting a lot of hate throughout his career, he very well knows what Caitlyn Clark is going through. Let's continue.
Experienced that to some degree when we first got in the NBA.
For sure.
Your opponents are not wrapping their arms around you. I had that to a small extent. I was the cocky white kid from Duke, right? You know, I feel like sometimes my teammates hated me. How did you process that? How did you go through that at a young age, coming into the NBA, where the people could have been your teammates, could have been the people you were competing against. They weren't celebrating you.
No, not at all.
They wanted to kick your ass.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, my teammates for sure. There's video evidence of my teammates basically saying like, he's not ready, or there's somebody playing his position, or we're not putting all our faith in the 18-year-old kid, or, you know, all this hype, we've been here, all this, you know. So my own teammates that I had to like be on the floor with, practicing with, on the planes with, you know, in the locker room, in game situations was kind of, you know, just had this kind of, like you said, you don't want to say hate, but just like animosity, like towards me and you know, and what I could provide. And I didn't even come in with that. I didn't come in. I came in with the narrative, but I didn't come in with that type of aura. I just wanted to come in and learn from the vets and then put the work in. So I think.
And that's what Caitlyn Clark wants to do. She wants to come in, learn from the vets, learn what needs to be done to be a champion. But obviously it comes with, hey, people don't see that. People don't visualize the fact that she's just trying to learn. And she understands that as well, that it's going to come with a lot of lows, with a couple of highs. AKA the first one that they got because of her last 6 points. The fact that she got a triple-double in that last game. Finally, she's getting a couple of highs despite the couple of lows she has to deal with before she got that high. But there is a lot of things these players with a lot of pressure has to deal with. And this is why LeBron James is the perfect personnel to basically express what Caitlyn Clark is going through, because he had to deal with it when he was in Cleveland. And it took a lot for him to withstand all of that. I mean, a lot of people can't handle that type of pressure. We get stressed when we freaking can't pay a bill. Imagine what these players go through. And I know they got a lot of money, but there's a different type of stress when it comes to a person who has it all compared to a person who doesn't. They deal with a lot of different types of stress. And the stress they deal with majority of the time now in our era is the pressure of social media, the pressure of a lot of people having their own opinions, because like assholes, everybody has opinions. But the thing, they do understand that people who can overcome that stress, that when it comes to being engaging, when it comes to being popular, when it comes to being an impactful player, it comes with a lot of people's opinions. And as the old saying goes, if people are not talking about you, you're not doing something right. When people are talking about you, you're doing something right.
For my advice to Caitlyn, and my advice to anyone that comes in with this, this level of like notoriety, out of this world expectation, whatever the case may be, I just think it's all about having, a horse, man. The Kentucky Derby, put your blinders on, go to work, show up to work, punch your clock in, prepare yourself, work on your game, work on your craft, kind of keep your mouth shut, and just learn from the vets. When they ask, you voice your opinion if they want your opinion, man, early on, because everybody is looking for you to say anything, and they're going to splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. And I think for her,
absolutely,
the one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. They flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. For anyone that's, in sports that's flown commercial or flown, charter, that should be celebrated. And it's because of Caitlyn Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlyn Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go have fun, enjoy. People need to realize the Indiana Fever, this is the second year in a row they had the number one pick. So do y'all know what that means? That means they're not that good. They had back-to-back years as the number one pick.
Why are you a hater on the Fever, man?
I am
And before we get into it, and I don't think we should get into anything more, but I'm gonna let it play on just a little bit. But the fact that LeBron James stated that, do not get it twisted, the reason a lot of things is happening in the WNBA is because of Caitlyn Clark. It's a fact, okay? I'm tired of going back to this main subject on why things are happening in the WNBA and only Caitlyn Clark is getting spoken about. Yes, Cameron Brick is a sensation. She's beautiful. She's attractive. She's a freaking eye candy to look at on the court and off the court. Angel Reese as well. Very attractive. Very, very beautiful woman. Beautiful to look at on and off the court. But there's something those two do not have that Caitlyn Clark has, and that's that it factor, that it that makes people want to watch because she is so sensational with the ball. Cameron Brick as well, and Angel Reese as well. Obviously, I love Cameron Brick's game above even Caitlyn Clark's game. I love Cameron Brick, the way she's in and out on the court. She just plays all sides of the freaking ball. She's just sensational, defensive and offensively. She's just a sensation. I'm not gonna lie, I really like Cameron Brick's game above both of them. But Caitlyn Clark has that it factor, that thing that makes people want to watch her, not because of her game, but because of her personality, and because also she's attractive. Obviously not as attractive as Cameron Brick or Angel Reese, we know that, but Caitlyn Clark is attractive nonetheless. But Caitlyn Clark has that it factor. And that it factor is something you can't explain all the time. It's just something you can't touch. It's just something that makes you want to watch this girl. Like I said, she knows how to freaking play the game. But it's something that makes you want to watch her and makes you want her to win. You want her to win because she brings that it factor. And it's not explainable. It's something that can't be explained. She just has the fans' hearts. Period. She brings that love. People want to watch her. People want to follow her. People want autographs from her. It's just something unexplainable, unattainable to a lot of players. A lot of players can't attain that. And that's what a lot of players don't understand when they say, oh, Caitlyn Clark this, Caitlyn Clark that. Well, you don't have that it factor that she has. I want to go to a tweet that Angel Reese basically put down that a lot of people is talking about, and what a lot of people don't understand is this tweet is important for the WNBA because the heated rivalry that everybody's saying that Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark has is something that can propel the sport further. So I don't get mad when Angel Reese talks a lot of shit about Caitlyn Clark or the things that Caitlyn Clark is doing for the WNBA, because to me she has the little leeway to talk shit because Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark had that college rivalry. So pop off, Angel Reese, because you're making people want to watch the WNBA. And God knows the amount of fans that is going to watch Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark for the first time in a professional level, one-on-one. You know how many fans are going to show up? You know how many tickets are going to be sold? Let Angel Reese pop off. For the people who are complaining about Angel Reese popping off, let her pop off. That's the rivalry we want. Remember Michael Jordan and the Knicks, that rivalry? Remember that? Remember Larry Johnson and remember Larry Bird and Magic Johnson? Remember that rivalry? We lived for that. Now Angel Reese against Caitlyn Clark. Let them pop off. Obviously, Caitlyn Clark is not going to pop off like Angel Reese. But the fact that Angel Reese deleted that tweet, I got disappointed. I'm like, Angel Reese, stand on your damn freaking 10 toes, man. 10 toes deep. Stand on that tweet. Be like, Caitlyn Clark, when I see you, it's on sight. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's go into that freaking tweet that Angel Reese popped off about. And it was interesting. It was interesting, all right? Angel Reese silences the haters, basically the NBA God game. Angel Reese said, and that's on getting a win in a packed area, not just because of one player on our charter flight, Skytown. Now, it stands to reason the message was aimed at Caitlyn Clark. The University of Iowa Phenom was drafted #1 overall by the Indiana Fever this year. The Fever are on 5 this season, and although Clark leads all rookies in points per game with 17.8. Let's mark that down. Caitlyn Clark, despite the losses, has been doing her damn thing, all right? She also leads the entire league in turnovers with 5.8, which is one of the lows as well. With highs comes lows. It's expected from a rookie, but let's continue. Her team's inability to win has prompted criticism from all corners, including the View co-host Sunny Holston. Now I'm gonna say something about this witch, Sunny Holston. She is the epitome of racism. She talks about racism all the time, but Sunny Holston is a racist freaking witch. Period. I do not like the View. I do not like that show. I hate that show. To the inner part of my core, I hate that show. I don't know why people watch it. I don't know why it gets the views that it gets. Because these freaking witches on that show are the freaking epitome of racists. Okay? But let's continue. The View co-host Sunny Holston, who said Clark's extreme popularity is related to white privilege and pretty privilege. Okay, white privilege and pretty privilege. Has she seen Cameron Brick? Cameron Brick is blown out the water gorgeous, beautiful, and she doesn't get the publicity Caitlyn Clark gets. So what the hell are you talking about pretty privilege? Cameron Brick is damn right freaking a girl that you dream about in dreams alone. And she doesn't get the freaking attention Caitlyn Clark gets. And she's talking about white privilege, that Caitlyn Clark is getting it because of white privilege and pretty privilege. Shut the fuck up, Sonny Holston. I really can't understand why people watch that show. I really don't understand what intelligence you receive from watching that show, because watching The View makes you more stupid than anything. It does. It just boggles my mind why people waste time watching that show. I can't understand it. This is coming from a black Spanish man as well. Those people on that show are delusional, period. I got my blood pressure all up. Let's continue. Some major stars have come to Clark's defense amid the ongoing criticism, namely LeBron James and Charles Barkley. I love the fact that Charles Barkley added his input as well, which is very, very big ups to Charles Barkley. The one thing I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch, James said on his Mind the podcast with Riddick. More people want to tune in. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlyn Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is happening for the WNBA. Barkley called Clark haters petty and said the rest of the league should be thanking her for getting y'all explicit private charters along with more money and visibility. Period. Why are people so freaking focused on what Caitlyn Clark does for the WNBA as a negative as to a positive? I mean, it's just so delusional. Just like a lot of YouTubers are saying as well as I am, don't fumble the bag. Because if you keep, the only one who can say shit about Caitlyn Clark and not it be a negative impact is Angel Reese. Angel Reese can say anything about Caitlyn Clark, and to me, it's looked at as a rivalry. Period. To me, it's not hating; it's a rivalry, and that's what we need in the WNBA. People gotta understand that we need rivalries in the WNBA. We need that. There's really no rivalry in the WNBA right now. Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark, that would be a nice rivalry. Let's not get it twisted. Don't turn Angel Reese's tweet about Caitlyn Clark as something as racially motivated or anything close to that. Look at it as a rivalry, because that will be a sensational rivalry to watch throughout the entire year. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what's your perspective when it comes to Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese, LeBron James comments, and Charles Barkley's comments. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Listen, Chi-Town residence is free. You don't pay rent, you don't pay lights. Listen, the freaking residence is free. Freaking get your sleeping bag, sleep in. It is what it is. You're a freaking resident. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, this is Black Shy Guy, and as always, thank you for sitting at my table. I'm out of here. Peace.
Arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim of suicidal maniac.